When I found Marietta, I didn't just find a place to go to college. I found so much more than that.
I found friends. I found sports.
I found my passion.
I found family.
I found my calling. I found a place to call home. Discover what you can find at Marietta by visiting marietta.edu today.
Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, early winter storms in Nevada.
An expected greenhouse gas emission update.
We'll have these stories and more on NewsCenter 15. Starts now. Good afternoon and welcome to today's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Ray.
And I'm Addison.
Topping our news this afternoon, an earlier than normal winter storm is causing problems in parts of Nevada. The abnormal conditions brought heavy snow and rains to the greater Reno area. These weather conditions have left some residents in the dark. Nevada Energy and Liberty Utilities have said close to 6,000 people are dealing with power outages. Nearly half of those blackouts are in El Dorado County. No word yet on when crews will be able to restore services.
A woman filed a lawsuit against Kellogg in New York last week. According to the lawsuit, an advertising on boxes for their strawberry Pop-Tarts are misleading because the filing uses less strawberries than expected. The complaint states that the pastry contains more apples and pears than strawberries. The lawsuit is calling for a jury trial and asks for over $5 million in damages. The lawyers representing this case are also representing an Illinois woman who also sued Kellogg in August over similar allegations. Kellogg has not commented on these lawsuits.
What's the weather like out here today?
Here to provide a first look at the weather is Landon Santini.
What can we expect, Landon?
Well, Ray, for the time being, we can expect our day to be relatively dry. As a fact, not only dry, but also very cloudy. Right now, it feels like about 46 degrees outside with an expected high of 54. It's the coldest it's been for the last several weeks since the month of October began. The air quality is really good. The pollen count is as low as it can possibly be, so no chance of anybody's allergies acting up. The winds are going to be running around the northwest at about 11 miles per hour, and the humidity is relatively moderate with a percentage of 70, and that's going to lead into some more drab and dreary weather as we continue on throughout the rest of the week. That should be starting about Thursday, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later on, along with something else coming up later on in the month that's very exciting, which you can probably guess by what I'm wearing. But anyway, that's all I've got for weather for now. We'll be back with a 5-day forecast. Until then, back to you guys at the desk.
According to a report by the United Nations, greenhouse gas emissions are expected to rise to about 16% by 2030. Researchers synthesized current pledges from over 100 countries saying they will reduce emissions. The pledges were a part of the Paris Agreement that was signed in 2015. 143 countries re-pledged in 2015. The United Nations says those pledges constitute only a 9% reduction in emissions between 2010 and 2030. Scientists warn that the world needs to cut its emissions in half over this decade to have any chance of containing global warming.
Oil reached $85 per barrel for the first time in intraday trading since 2014. This marks a 13% jump on oil prices this month alone and a 120% rise since this time last year. The turnaround is remarkable for a commodity that was trading at negative prices less than 18 months ago when suppliers were running out of space to store it. A global energy crunch is also impacting the prices of coal and natural gas. The average price that Americans are paying for a gallon of gas now stands at $3.38. Last year, it was down to $2.16.
Coming up, a tragedy in Houston and more.
We'll be back after this.
Hey, this is Kevin Love from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Right now, many of us feel anxious. Mindfulness can help you ease those feelings. My nonprofit is partnering with Headspace to offer free content to help you stress less. Head to kevinlovefund.org/headspace.
Here's to the straggly ones, the first ones. But hey, I look good with this ones. The black, brown, red, and gray ones. The itchy ones. The ones grown by Dad. The ones grown for Dad. The I nearly didn't do it this year ones, and the absolutely filthy ones. They all raise awareness, raise funds, start conversations, and save lives. Because whatever you grow will save a bro. Learn more at Movember.com.
CDC Director Rochelle Walensky is encouraging families to get out and go trick-or-treating this Halloween amid the COVID-19 pandemic. There has been an abundance of statements from the CDC advising to continue following COVID prevention protocols, but Director Walensky said on Fox News Sunday to Hot Chris Wallace that families should put those costumes on, stay outside, and enjoy your trick-or-treating. This should be a good sign to American families as the infection rate for the Delta variant of the virus has been dropping over the past few weeks. She did continue to stress that we should stay spread out, but to safely enjoy the holiday.
Hertz, one of the world's largest rental car companies, announced on Monday that it would purchase 100,000 electric vehicles from Tesla. This will be one of the largest purchases of battery-powered cars and continues to show the commitment to increasing EV technology. This purchase will be completed by the end of 2022 and will establish Hertz's own personal electric vehicle charging network. Hertz interim CEO Mark Fields won't reveal how much is being spent, but this move provides further evidence that a future of electronic cars may be more possible than was believed.
Facebook is under fire after whistleblower Francis Holmes' testimony claiming Facebook to be misusing its security functions and accessing user personal and private data. These documents, now being called the Facebook Papers, have been published and reported on by multiple news outlets. This is far from the first scandal for Facebook, but it may be the most serious as some are drawing connections to the platform and the event which took place in the Capitol on January 6th. While this investigation continues to happen, Facebook reveals its quarterly earnings in which they have experienced a 17% raise in net revenue.
In Houston, 3 siblings, ages 15, 10, and 7, were found abandoned in an apartment, and with them were the remains of their 9-year-old brother. After receiving a call on Sunday morning from one of the children, the Harris County Sheriff came to the scene to discover what has been said on the phone to be true. He stated that the remains had been there for an extended amount of time. The parents of the children have been located and were brought in for questioning and released on Monday. The investigation is ongoing with involvement from Sheriff's Homicide Unit and Children Abuse Unit, and the children have been taken into care by Child Protective Services.
Coming up next, further details on the testimony of Francis Hume.
We'll also get the latest from Hollywood.
And although we're relatively dry right now, we're looking to have a wet and dreary weekend. Will that put a damper on Halloween? Find out when we come back for our extended forecast. Stay tuned.
Where are we?
We are at Marietta College.
This is where we live at Marietta College.
A group of scientists and ocean life advocates says a type of whale that is one of the rarest marine animals in the world lost nearly 10% of its population last year. The North Atlantic right whale numbered only 366 in 2019, and its population fell to 366 in 2020. The estimate by the North Atlantic right whale consortium is the lowest number in nearly 2 decades. The whale have suffered high mortality and poor reproduction in some recent years. They're vulnerable to collisions with ships and entanglement in fishing gear.
Further into Frances Haugen's testimony, the Facebook whistleblower told British lawmakers that the social media giant stokes online hate and extremism, fails to protect children from harmful content, and lacks any incentives to fix the problem. Her sharp comments are providing momentum for efforts by European governments working on stricter regulation of tech giants. She says algorithms that prioritize engagement take people with mainstream interests and push them to the extremes. Facebook says it wants regulation for tech companies and was glad the United Kingdom was leading the way.
Stocks gained ground in afternoon trading on Wall Street Monday as investors looked ahead to another busy week of earnings reports, this time from major technology companies including Facebook and Apple. The S&P 500 rose 0.5%, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 0.3%, and the NASDAQ rose 0.7%. Major U.S. indexes are coming off 3 weeks of gains. Tesla rose 7.6% after Hertz said it would order 100,000 electric vehicles from the company. European markets were mixed and Asian markets closed mostly higher. Energy prices rose. The yield on the 10-year Treasury note fell to 1.63%. Today in entertainment news, big things from the music industry and bad news for Ed Sheeran. Here's Elijah Balick, that and more in the Hollywood Minute.
What's going on in Hollywood, Eli?
Thanks, guys. Ed Sheeran is the latest entertainer to announce he tested positive for COVID-19. The singer-songwriter posted on social media he's self-isolating and will do as many interviews and performances from home as he can. Sheeran's long-awaited 4th studio album, Equals, is due out Friday. The French Dispatch made a mark with a small release. The latest Wes Anderson film opened in just 52 theaters over the weekend and grossed an estimated $1.3 million. That's $25,000 per theater, the best per theater average on any film since the pandemic began. Duran Duran is back. The British New Waves band's latest video, Anniversary, features actors and lookalikes playing famous celebrities, and a younger version of the band members. The song is on their new album, Future Past, now in stores. With your Hollywood Minute, I'm Elijah Balick. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks for the look at Hollywood, Elijah.
Now it's time to hear the extended forecast from Landon Santini. What do you have for us?
Well, I've got some news to tell you in regards to precipitation that's going to be headed towards our neck of the woods of the Mid-Ohio Valley. It might put a damper on Halloween, which is why I'm wearing this lovely hat, getting into the festive season, but we'll see how much. Well, right now, as you can see, the majority of the precipitation and the rain that we're going to be getting soon is coming from the northeast of the northern part of the United States and the southern border of Canada, coming right towards Ohio and Pennsylvania from the Great Lakes. And as we take a closer look, we can see that it's gotten to the northeastern end of Pennsylvania, and tiny bit of it's coming off from Cleveland, from Lake Erie down to the central middle section of our lovely Buckeye State. So we're going to be okay for the time being. As for right now, you can see as we look smack dab in the center of the Mid-Ohio Valley, we've got pretty much no precipitation to speak of right now. But as for the rest of the week, let's see how that looks. Tomorrow, we've once again got an expected high of 57 with more cloudy conditions, much more of what we're experiencing today. On Thursday, we experience a bit of a temperature increase. It gets a little warmer with a high of 66 and more continued cloudy conditions. As we get into the weekend, this is when the rain finally starts catching up to us. We'll have a chance of showers as the temperatures cool off with a high of 61. We go into the weekend, it cools off a little bit more thanks to the rain that's coming, with chance of showers, a high of 57. And we end the weekend on Sunday with a high of 59 and partly cloudy conditions. So it looks like the rain should be coming to a dead stop by then. So that's a good thing. If you're wanting to go trick-or-treating on the actual day of Halloween, you might want to be careful going out into the streets because the roads might be a little slick from the leftover residue from the rain. Other than that, just make sure you bring your flashlights, you bring your buddies with you, and any parents or guardians with you to make sure the kids are safe. We want you all to have a happy, safe Halloween, whether you're in the Mid-Ohio Valley or wherever you are. We'll talk a little bit more about some things we'll be looking forward to in this festive season when I come back at the end of the broadcast. But until then, looking forward to the wide world of sports. So back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Landon. When we come back, Grant Moore will have the latest from the world of sports. Stay with us.
James Brown and Bill Cowher welcoming you back to the Midnight Snack Run.
This is one tricky obstacle course.
He's reaching, but he pushes it away. He's approaching a plate of iced cookies. He blows right by him.
Oh, the fridge.
Looks like he's headed for the soda. Wait, he jukes left, grabs the water bottle.
Now he's just got to get out of there.
Look what dropped from the sky.
Don't do it, Dennis. That's the way you execute a Midnight Snack Run.
Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer.
Go to takeahealthystand.org.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid, but there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. Learn more at wearebroadcasters.com/hope. Furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
We've always had villains to face.
Bad guys to take down. But you
are the most horrible of all.
We're not here because we have to be.
We're here because we've had enough of you.
Every single one of us is mortal.
But inside of us, we're all heroes.
So stand up with us.
Stand up to fight.
Stand up to cancer. Visit standuptocancer.org to learn more.
And now we're back with Grant Moore for a look at sports.
Busy week in the world of sports, wasn't it?
You're right, and I have the rundown. On Sunday, Tom Brady defeated the Chicago Bears with the final score of 38-3. The 7-time Super Bowl ring quarterback reached another milestone in his career by throwing his 600th career pass. Brady is still going strong at the age of 44, and Bruce Arians of the Buccaneers believes you never see the age of Brady in the game or statistics. Coach Adrian said, "Yeah, the numbers, they are staggering, and they will probably never be broken. I say that, but who knows when the next Tom Brady is going to come. They are staggering, but when you are watching him practice every single day, You don't see the age. NCAA history was made over the weekend during the Penn State versus Illinois football game. In the action-packed game, it took 9 overtimes for the Illinois to upset number 7 ranked Penn State with the score of 20-18. Carsey Washington, a wide receiver for Illinois, had the winning two-point catch for Brandon Peter. Washington was emotional after the game, said, "I actually cried after the game. It just felt good." New York Jets rookie quarterback Zach Wilson will be sidelined for the next 2 or 4 weeks after undergoing an MRI on Monday. Wilson suffered a sprained posterior cruciate ligament in his right knee during the second quarter of the game against the Patriots last Sunday, when linebacker Matt Judon fell on Wilson's leg after throwing an incomplete pass. Wilson was not played on the injured reserve yet, and the team is waiting for more information this week about the injury. That's all for now. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Grant. Joining us now at the desk is Landon Santini for our last look at the weather.
So basically, to sum up the weather for the coming weekend as few words as possible, we're nice and dry right now, but as we get closer to the weekend around Thursday evening going into Saturday night, we'll be experiencing an increasing amount of rain. But if everything goes well, it should stop just in time on Sunday for the actual day of Halloween. Now, I don't know what most of the surrounding communities' plans are for trick-or-treating in terms of when they're setting out, but a lot of the safety precautions that we mentioned during the end of the forecast in regards to making sure the kids stay safe around the neighborhood, I think still apply. And that's what the children are looking forward to. But Halloween isn't just for children, it's for families and people of all ages. So what about the holiday season are you guys looking forward to?
Cold weather.
Oh, yeah.
Can't stand the heat.
Oh, yeah. It's fun for a while, but it gets to be much as the years go on. What about you?
I get tired of the snow, but right now I'm okay.
Well, we haven't gotten any yet, so
not yet.
I guess you got something to dread.
Yeah, I got something to wait on. So
keep waiting. It's coming soon.
Oh, I know.
Yay.
Oh, yeah. I hear some places have gotten snow already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think back home might have got a little bit. It's colder back home.
Especially up north in the northern parts of the country.
Ugh, wow. The north. Well, that's it for today's broadcast. Thank you for watching. We hope you guys will join us Tuesdays and Thursdays at 12:30 and 6:30 for WCMO NewsCenter 15, Marietta College Broadcasting. See you next time.
Meet Candace. This senior basketball player loves to spend time hanging out before class with her best friend and education major, Shelby. Shelby knows the best place to study is at the Kalaki Cafe, where she can compare notes with baseball player Ryan and get a great cup of coffee too. In the off-season, Ryan tries his best when he's shooting hoops with broadcasting major Gage in the Dyson Baudo Recreation Center, home of Fenton Court. Gage, as producer at WCMO 15 News, runs the control room, where he shows the ropes to Mary, a junior volleyball player and advertising and public relations major. Mary loves to spend her free time drawing down at the Herman Fine Arts Center, where her sorority sister Madison majors in studio art.